Alex and Lily were riding a motorcycle when they had an accident, but their injuries are not serious. Just after the accident, Sophia called me in tears. Evan, Alex's leg was injured. Will there be any after effects? I was also confused. I didn't have time to figure out why my fiancé was racing on the street with another man in the middle of the night. I had to get up from the hospital bed to deal with Alex's accident. I can't say no to Lily's tears. This is the last time. Once they're married, Lily will probably settle down and live a good life. Alex wasn't wearing a helmet and was speeding. The responsibility is all his. Although I'm a lawyer, I can't go against my conscience. Helping people like Alex to extort money. Lily is especially unhappy with me. She says I've wasted my studies in law, but I am a lawyer, not a wizard. I can't distort the truth, turn black into white. When I picked Lily up from the hospital and took her home, she was adjusting the angle of Alex's bed and preparing to feed him. I was so angry I wanted to laugh. My fiancée now looked more like Alex's wife. Alex took a sip of seafood porridge and deliberately raised an eyebrow at me. Lily was so focused that she didn't notice I was there. In the hospital room, the two of them were chatting easily. Does it hurt? Lily leaned in close to the bandages on his abdomen. Her breath gently brushes his skin. Alex takes her hand, places it on his chest. It hurts more here. Worried you won't talk to me after you get married. I stand outside the door. I see Lily's ears turn red. She withdraws her hand, but still lets Alex play with her hair. She scoops up a spoonful of porridge, blows it to cool it down, then tastes it herself to check the temperature. Only then does she feed it to him. This intimacy is only possible when we're in love. Alex suddenly chokes. The porridge stains spill onto Lily's collar. He pulls her collar open, wipes it with a tissue. His fingers deliberately glide over her collarbone. Lily laughs and pushes his hands away. She says, "Stop it," but she lets him rest his head on her shoulder. I grip the doorknob. The veins on the back of my hand stand out. I can't help but say, "Why don't you just throw yourself into his arms?" Lily froze for a moment. When she saw it was me, she immediately acted like she didn't care. She said their relationship was purely platonic. They were just good friends who were closer than normal friends. Lily was convinced that I wouldn't do anything to her. Because I had been pursuing her from the very beginning, I returned home. I collapsed on the sofa, feeling completely drained. I looked at this place that was called my wedding room. Can this still be considered a home? The doctor repeatedly advised me. He said that although I was young, but you can't keep abusing your body like this. But Lily never noticed. Her fiancé's health was in serious trouble. But Lily's ever-increasing material desires were like a carrot dangled in front of me. I could only work like a horse and a cow. Once, I had high expectations and fantasies for our home. Now, I just want to sell it. I immediately put the house up for sale on a second-hand housing website. It wasn't until noon the next day that Lily came home. "Evan, being a lawyer must be pretty relaxing. Don't you have to earn money to pay the mortgage?" Lily started scolding me as soon as she walked in the door. She spends money like water. I became a lawyer as soon as I graduated from university. After a difficult period, I finally earned some money. I spent it all on this family. I said coldly, "If I remember correctly, I gave you 100,000 yuan a few days ago." This time Alex was also hospitalized and charged to my card. "Don't forget to tell him to pay me back soon." Lily immediately became agitated. She frowned and accused me. "Evan, Alex is my friend. He got hurt protecting me, a novice. He even broke his ribs. How could I not help him? When will you learn to be more generous? Don't worry about these trivial matters." I laughed angrily. "You're engaged, yet you still go to the mountains at night to ride motorcycles with Alex. Is that reasonable?" Lily was a little surprised. Perhaps she hadn't expected me to react so directly. That's not surprising. Ever since university, Alex has been like a shadow, following Sophia around. It's affected our lives. Whenever we plan a date, he makes up an excuse about not feeling well and gets Sophia to go with him. Then he sends pictures of him and Sophia drinking all night. Lily always has to choose between the two of us, but she's never chosen me. I really like her. Every time she cries, I can't help but feel soft-hearted. But just as the wedding is approaching, I finally understand. It's time to let myself go. A stone that can't be warmed should be thrown into the latrine. Did I earn money just so you can pay Alex's medical expenses? I'm neither his father nor his mother. Lily has never seen me so angry before. Her tone softened a little. You still care about me and Alex. I've already said that we are just good friends. If there really is something, you wouldn't even be in the picture. I was so angry I almost fainted. My mind was like a movie playing in my head. It kept flashing back to the past, from college to the present, the fights Lily and I had had over Alex. Lily saw that I was silent. She threw herself into my arms and pouted. Evan, aren't we getting married soon? Your money is my money. It's not a big deal to lend it to a friend in an emergency. Lend me another 200,000. I want to buy Alex a motorcycle for his birthday. I stood up. I had completely lost hope. I finally understood. I was just a walking ATM. I have no money. Why don't you sell your bag? I closed the door. I blocked Lily's scolding outside. He just said I wasn't man enough. I couldn't even satisfy my wife when she asked for money. But that doesn't make sense. You have to support your wife and her best male friend. 2 a.m. Alex sends a provocative text message. In the photo, Lily wearing his shirt. Unprotected, she curled up on the hospital bed and fell asleep. She kept calling my name in her sleep. Your wife is quite an interesting person. Quite a contrast. I stare at the screen. I sneer. I save the screenshot. I upload the chat history to the cloud. My lawyer's professional instinct tells me to keep all the evidence. In the past, I did this to be responsible to my clients. Now this evidence has become a tool to deal with those two people. My phone vibrates. It's Lily. Evan, Alex has a fever from the infected wound. I have to stay up all night. I won't go home tonight. Her voice is a little indistinct. She sounds tired. I twirl my pen. I write the main points on a sticky note. The statute of limitations for unjust enrichment is 3 years. I reply, okay. It so happens that the property is urging payment of the water bill. You remember to pay with your card. Didn't you say you wanted to marry me? You should contribute to the family finances. There was the sound of glass breaking on the other end of the line. Lily's sharp scolding was deafening. Evan, are you a man or not? You want to settle with me for 100,000 yuan. Correct that. I took out my recorder. It's 237, 450 yuan. This includes Alex's hospital and nutrition fees, and the LV bag you bought last month by maxing out my credit card. Lily paused for a moment. Then she sneered. Aren't you just trying to use money to force me to go back? To be honest, you still mind me taking care of Alex. I'll tell you straight. I'm not going home this month. Here comes the same old routine. For 4 years in college, I've been following Lily around and pleasing her, but she still fights with me over Alex. As a result, we just kept on fighting. It never ended. But when pushed to the limit, even a tiger will fight back. I can say that the past 10 years have been a waste. Lily must not have expected me to be so calm this time. No wonder. She was used to the days when all it took was a few tears and a pinky swear to make me come running. When I first started university, I was short of cash. I met Lily at a debate competition. I couldn't even afford the $5 meat dish in the cafeteria. Lily used the excuse of treating me to dinner to add money to my meal card. Although it was only a few tens of dollars, it really helped me get through those difficult times. From that moment on, Lily became the most important person in my life. Between us, there was only Alex, the big problem, standing in the way. Other than that, we were also the envy of everyone at university as a young couple. I always wanted to pursue further studies, pursue my academic dreams. But in order to give Lily a good life, I joined a law firm as soon as I graduated from university. I started as a trainee lawyer at the bottom of the ladder. I worked hard. I endured for almost 6 years. Only then did I slowly enjoy the sweetness of the profession. Finally, I was able to buy a house and a car, buy all kinds of gifts, bring Lily all the best things I could find. But because I was so busy at work, I slowly became a man who was calculating outside the home but dull and uninteresting at home in Lily's eyes. If being misunderstood is the fate of the speaker, then I accept it. But in recent years, Alex seems to have been persistently trying to put a colored hat on me. Lily has changed. She has begun to seek excitement. She no longer goes to work. Every day, she goes mountain biking with Alex. Sometimes she doesn't come home all night. She doesn't even send a message. I was worried about her safety, so I sent a few more messages, but she just blocked me. The so-called pure friendship and brotherhood has long become an excuse for them to cover up the truth. I slowly understood. The heartbeats of youth may just be an illusion. Years of companionship, in the end, it can't beat Alex, this so-called good brother. So, I decided to turn over the first page of the money-making secrets. From now on, forget about love. I decided to use work to distract myself. After that, I stopped going home. I moved straight into the law firm. I threw myself into my work, but I wasn't idle. I spent a lot of money installing a camera in Alex's hospital room. After work, I often watched how Alex and Lily, good friends as they were, proved. There is no such thing as purely platonic relationships between men and women. Seeing what was going on in the hospital room, I was even more convinced of this. Alex was clearly on the mend, but every day he complained of pain here and there, itching here and there. Lily stayed in the ward to take care of Alex. She paid and worked hard one day. Lily sat by the bedside and massaged Alex's calves. Her palms moved back and forth on the skin. Alex suddenly grunted. Grabbing Lily's wrist, he said, a little higher, "My thigh muscles are sore too." Lily gave him a glare. She smiled and said something, but her hand obediently moved to the edge of the black sweatpants. I saw this scene through the surveillance camera. His fingernails dug deep into his palms. In the camera shot, Alex leaned forward sharply. He almost encircled Lily between his arms. "You're working so hard. Did Evan pay you for your nursing work? Don't talk nonsense." Lily lightly pounded his chest with her fists. Alex quickly grabbed her wrists, however. Their fingers locked together. He asked with a smile, "Would you rather be my wife?" At that moment, there was a burst of laughter and wet sounds coming from the monitor. Everyone knew what was going on. I really couldn't watch anymore. If I continued to watch, I would not be able to bear it. I closed the computer with a bitter smile. Forget it. Just consider it as repeatedly facing pain. Get used to it earlier. Return to normal life. By the way, leave some evidence of the money he spent on me. I was completely unprepared. Lily actually brought Alex back home. I was exhausted that day. As soon as I opened the door, I heard a strange noise in the living room. I thought there was a thief in the house. After turning on the lights, I realized what was going on. Lily was wearing a man's oversized shirt. She was wearing only shorts underneath. She was helping Alex with his rehabilitation. The two of them were very close. They almost looked like they were hugging. Alex's hands were directly touching Lily's exposed skin. My educational background made it impossible for me to understand what was going on. Seeing me frozen in place, Lily, who was sweating profusely, put a hand on Alex's shoulder. She gasped. "What are you doing?" Alex was discharged from the hospital. The doctor said he needed to exercise more to recover. I almost couldn't help but vomit. "You're dressed like this, and you're talking about rehabilitation exercises. What kind of rehabilitation exercises are you doing?" After she finished speaking, I rushed into the master bedroom. I found the room had been turned upside down. Lily was standing in the doorway. She looked as if she was taking it for granted. "Alex has difficulty walking. The guest bedroom is also a mess. You're a big guy, you can just sleep on the sofa for one night. He and I will sleep together in the master bedroom. At night, Alex gets up to go to the bathroom. I have to help him. What are you staring at, Evan? You can't be that petty." I pointed at the door and said, "You two can either go with Alex, or I'll call the police and report you for trespassing." After saying that, I took out my phone and prepared to call the police. Alex saw that I wasn't joking, pretending to be weak. He asked Lily to help him walk to me. He said, "I can walk." It was Lily who was afraid that I couldn't take care of myself at home alone. That's why she picked me up. "I didn't expect you to be so generous." Lily really misjudged the person. "How could she have chosen you?" Alex said while showing a disdainful expression. "Fine, I'll go by myself so you don't have any wild thoughts and let Lily suffer." Lily saw this scene. Her heart was so sad she couldn't speak. She knelt down to examine Alex's leg wound. "Alex, stay put. Don't go anywhere from this position." I happened to see Alex smiling. His hand was restless. It almost touched Lily's chest. I said coldly, "Either you leave now, or you won't be able to save your other leg." Lily's face suddenly changed. "Evan, are you crazy? Alex is my friend. How could you do this to him?" "Friend?" I smiled coldly. "A friend would pay the medical bill with my card. A friend would flaunt his shirt in front of me." "Lily, you think I'm an idiot?" Lily was speechless for a moment. Alex, however, remained calm. "Evan, don't be angry. Lily and I are just friends. If you're unhappy, I'll leave immediately." He pretended to leave. Lily immediately grabbed him. "Alex, don't go. Evan, if you call the police, I'll go too. And never come back." I suddenly felt ridiculous. 10 years of relationship. It's not as good as a so-called good friend. "Fine," I said coldly. "I don't want to keep you anyway." Lily seemed to deliberately make me uncomfortable. Every now and then she posted updates in her circle of friends. Every photo has Alex in it. Some mutual friends couldn't stand it anymore. They secretly asked me what was going on. "Evan, you and Lily have set a wedding date. What's going on with her?" I calmly replied. "The wedding is canceled, but the banquet has already been booked. I'll treat all my good friends to a meal." I thought I had already felt nothing, but seeing these photos still made me feel uncomfortable. Every photo of Alex and Lily was intimate. It looked like they were a couple. "Fine, I'll see what you can do." I closed the laptop. I encrypted the evidence chain and saved it to the cloud. Alex's hospital bill, Lily's maxed-out credit card bill, and the speeding ticket for riding a motorcycle in the middle of the night. All these clues formed a tight web. My phone rang. It was a message from Lao Zhu. "He is a partner at the law firm." He said, "Brother, the matter you asked me to look into, I have found out the answer. I will send you the result." I sent a handshake emoticon back. Then I turned around and opened the curtains. The morning sun pierced through the clouds. Like a knife, it cut through the long night. Lily hadn't returned for half a month, but her circle of friends has been constantly updating her, and Alex's selfies in the hospital room, B's new motorcycle helmet, and the location of a certain high-end Japanese restaurant. I snickered and took screenshots. I immediately posted them to our group of mutual friends. 3 seconds later, the group exploded. The caption read, "A true friend is never absent. Is Lily crazy? They're about to get married, and she's still hanging out with other men. Is Alex someone who lives off women's money? Evan, can you stand this?" I put down my phone, open the closet, and start packing. The engagement ring falls out of my shirt pocket. It makes a crisp sound as it hits the floor. When I pick it up, the words "El Zan till death do us part" engraved on the inside ring hurt my palm. This is ridiculous. The only one who will be till death do us parties this idiot. The day Alex's summons was sent to his hometown, Lily finally kicked open the door. She came to settle scores with me. She looked like a traveling frog that had been wandering around and finally couldn't find any food to eat. Her makeup was a mess. Her hand holding the bag was shaking. "Evan, do you have to ruin me before you're satisfied?" I said while slowly stamping the lawsuit documents. "To be honest, I want my $237,450 back." Then she explained, "You can't get a wife without spending money, but I have to find a way to get my money back. You think Alex is afraid of you." She picked up the crystal ashtray on the coffee table and threw it at me. "Her father's business is huge. Your money is nothing to him. He can easily deal with a small lawyer like you." Glass fragments cut my forehead. Blood kept flowing out. I took out a tissue and pressed it against the wound. I unlocked the tablet's password and pushed it over. On the screen, intimate photos of Alex with different women kept switching. There were club girls, internet anchors, and also waitresses wearing provocative clothes. What a coincidence! Alex's family business had long since run into serious problems. "He had been so close to you recently. I guess he just wanted money." Lily's face gradually turned pale. Her fingers dug into the leather sofa. "It's impossible. Alex said he only saw me as a sister. We've been good friends for so many years. So many years. Alex has never had any intentions towards me. How could he do it for money?" I sneered. "You've got nothing to gain, but you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on him over the years. I really don't know whether to say he's too bad or you're too stupid." I revealed Alex's true colors. His father's logistics company was investigated for tax evasion 3 years ago. All his properties have been mortgaged. Every day, his creditors go to his villa and cause trouble and throw paint. Alex has the airs of a rich second generation. He lives off loans and women. I threw the information in front of Lily, but he kept shaking his head. He refused to believe it. It's impossible. Alex wouldn't be like this. The good friend you've always cared about. Even the motorcycle that caused the crash was second-hand. I swiped the tablet. Continue to expose. Alex has a record on the lending platform. He tricked you into paying medical expenses with my card. Then he turned around and went to the casino to try to win back the money, but he lost it all again. By the way, the agreements he made you sign asked you to be his guarantor. Now you two have to repay the debt together. Lily lunges forward to grab the tablet. I quickly ducked out of the way. She lost her balance and fell to the ground. She shouted, "You lied." Alex clearly said. He said he would take you around the world. I crouched down to look at her eye to eye and took out the diary she had forgotten in the master bedroom. But he just bought a bag for the headliner of the nightclub last month. It was charged to your card. In fact, it was my money. I looked at Lily, whose world view was collapsing. I didn't feel happy at all. Lily looked well-maintained. 10 years had passed. She was still the same lovely girl I had known in college, but now I didn't seem to know her at all. I opened my mouth. I wanted to tell Lily everything about what was going on behind Alex's back. As for whether she should stay or go, I would leave that entirely up to her. But Lily didn't let me explain. She said, "It must be you. You can't stand to see Alex doing well. You're deliberately spreading rumors about him." She angrily accused me of sowing discord. Indeed, over the years, in her mind, Alex and I had never been on the same level, since good advice could not persuade someone who was so stubborn. I put away the folder I had intended to give Lily. I stood up, looking down at Lily sitting on the floor. Her hair had been well groomed, but now it was messy and falling about. Her mascara had smudged from her tears, leaving 2 dark marks on her face. Just like the first time we met, the stubborn and disheveled look on her face after she lost the debate. But this time, I no longer felt that sour and uncomfortable feeling in my heart. My phone rang. It was Lao Zhu. "The court has approved the pretrial property preservation. Alex's apartment has been frozen, and also, he was filmed in high-definition video at the Macau casino last night. Should I send it to the media now?" "Don't worry." I looked at Lily's trembling fingers. "Just wait a little longer." Alex was even more impatient than I expected. After being sued, he even tried to cover his debts by gambling again. Unfortunately, the casino is not like the love scene he is familiar with. Gamblers are not as gullible as Lily. That night, a hot post appeared on the local forum. The headline was "Expose a man surnamed A. He pretended to be a rich second generation to cheat for money and sex. The creditor has been tracked down across provinces." In the casino surveillance footage, he is seen embracing 2 women in bunny girl costumes. He is guzzling champagne. The table is piled high with IOUs in Lily's name. I refreshed the comment section while sneering. Online, those friends who previously envied Lily for having a rich brother are now going crazy over her. "Sisters, run quickly. This guy has borrowed money from loan sharks in your name." Lily's phone kept vibrating on the coffee table. Alex had sent his last message. "Lily, it's urgent. Transfer me another 500,000 yuan, otherwise they really will cut off my hand." I suppressed a smile. I asked Lily, "You should believe me now. You know, I don't have the power to bribe the media to smear your good brother." Lily suddenly pounced. She grabbed my trouser leg tightly and said anxiously, "Evan, help him. Those IOUs are all fake. You know a lot of judges. You can definitely fix it." I slowly pulled her fingers apart and said, "Do you remember your junior year? You said you wanted to go see the aurora borealis." She froze. She didn't expect me to mention this. I worked 3 jobs to save up for the trip. I finally saved enough money. But the day before we were due to leave, I found out that Alex had been admitted to hospital with acute appendicitis. I wiped the blood from the back of my hand. I said, "You stayed with him in the hospital for 3 days. When you returned, you were still wearing his baseball jacket." In fact, Alex was perfectly fine. He was just pretending to be sick. You once said that you would take me to see the aurora borealis all over the world. I took out 2 documents from the safe. Now you either help your good friend pay back the money, or you can remain silent and watch me send Alex to prison. Lily's expression is like she's been slapped. She asks, "You have to be so clear with me. Ever since the day you used my credit card to buy Alex a motorcycle, we should have completely broken up." I slam the pen down on the coffee table. The sound is so loud that Lily shudders. 7 days after Alex disappeared, the debt collection agency came to the door. Lily also disappeared. She still chose to protect Alex. This friendship is really touching, but I don't know if Lily would still believe in their touching friendship if she saw the insurance policy in my hands. Ju has a wide network of contacts. He easily found out that Alex had taken out several large insurance policies. The beneficiary was Alex himself, and the insured was Lily. Following this clue, I continued to investigate. I found that the car accident that Lily and Alex encountered is very likely that someone deliberately arranged it. I am currently at the law firm organizing the chain of evidence. The surveillance video suddenly shows a dozen heavily tattooed men barging in. They take a steel pipe and smash the reception desk. The scarred-faced leader sneers at the camera. If you don't hand over Alex immediately, next time we'll break your fiancé's bones." I waved my hand and laughed. There is a right person for every grievance. You're looking for the wrong person and using violence. You just wait until I sue you into bankruptcy. As for Lily, fiancé is not yet a wife. Do whatever you want with her. I pressed the alarm button. I also sent Scarface Lily's new address. Scarface and his gang are not to be trifled with. If Lily is found by them, it will definitely end badly. But this time, I will no longer be the one to protect her. Ju sent a message. Alex's evidence for insurance fraud and planning a murder was all there. He'll get 10 years in prison. I sent it at once. The court summons immediately reached every major media outlet. The search rankings exploded. News about fake billionaire Alex being suspected of multiple crimes and Lily as a guarantor soared to the top of the list. A ghostly video suddenly went viral on TikTok. Alex was crying in the casino. "Lily, save me." The background music was Love Trade. That day when Alex was arrested, I was at the law firm organizing case files. Lao Zhu rushed in with a cigarette in his mouth. He shoved the tablet in front of my face. Alex was handcuffed and being led to the police car. His once well-groomed hair was a mess. The expensive custom-made suit was stained with instant noodle soup. He used to show off on his motorcycle. He didn't care about the impact on others. Now this gambler looks so disheveled. I really can't figure it out, emotionally. How could I lose to such a person? Lao Zhu shook the ashes off his cigarette. He said, "Fraud, intentional injury, illegal fundraising, these charges combined. Minimum sentence of 15 years. That kid kept shouting in the interrogation room that he wanted to see you, and said he had Lily's leverage." I sneered. He might as well save his energy, think about how to hide in prison for a while longer. It's full of vicious debt collectors out there. I was chatting with Lao Zhu when Lily suddenly burst into my office. "Evan, help me. Alex, that guy used my nude photos to settle the debt." Lily pointed at her phone. Her hands kept trembling. The foundation on her face mixed with her tears, leaving deep traces. Those almond-shaped eyes that once fascinated me are now empty and lifeless. "Evan, I really didn't know he would." "You actually knew." I close my eyes. After so many years as a lawyer, for the first time I feel like suffocating. You just chose to pretend you didn't know. Just like they pretended not to notice that I've been taking more and more sleeping pills over the years. And they pretended not to see the bloody phlegm I spit on the sink. Lily considered selling her bags to pay off the debt. She sold all the luxury bags and expensive jewelry I had given her. When she took the so-called limited edition bag Alex gave her to pay off the debt, she discovered that the bag had already peeled off, revealing the inferior artificial leather interior. It turned out that even so-called good friends will give fake things to each other. Zhu helped out. He turned on the projector. Before Alex was arrested in his suite at the Wynn Palace, he was setting up a champagne tower. The casino surveillance shows that he signed the back of your credit card. In the video, Alex is holding a bunny girl. He raises a glass to the camera and says, "To my good friend Evan, without your help, I could never have stayed in the presidential suite, thanks to Lily too. She was used by me, but you, Evan, you value her so highly." Alex's background image and his feelings are all fake. Lily sits on the floor and didn't say a word. I wasn't interested in watching this old couple act out their love and hatred. Don't be sad. Alex's gambling debts are not protected by the law. You don't have to pay that money back. I looked at the emaciated woman in front of me. My heart felt very uncomfortable, not for anyone else, just for the past 10 years. Maybe the past relationship was just my one-sided thinking. Hearing me say this, Lily looked up. A glimmer of hope flashed in her eyes. "Evan, can we start over?" I interrupted him immediately. "Don't even think about it. I just want you to give me back the money you transferred to Alex. That's already being generous. Please leave my office immediately. I don't welcome unreasonable people like you." Zhu had been standing by watching the whole time. When Lily left the office, he let out a sigh of relief. "You brat, I thought you were going to go soft again. She's in this state and you still want to turn back. Don't blame me for looking down on you." After saying that, Zhu gave me a little slap. I wasn't happy about winning. Facing Zhu's half-true, half-joking words, I could only force a smile. I guess he was trying to lighten the mood. Zhu stubbed out his cigarette in the ashtray and winked at me. "By the way, my sister is coming back next week. Can you pick her up? She refuses to let me help her. She says she wants to do it on her own. Can you look after her for me?" I said as I leafed through the case file. "You think I'm a babysitter?" Zhu immediately sent me the flight details. He said, "She's studying law. She's coming to our firm to do an internship. You take care of her. Don't let her get cheated by someone like Alex." I saw that the ticket was in Emily's name. I suddenly remembered the round-faced girl who always sat in the front row taking notes during university debates. At that time, Lao Zhu always praised his younger sister as the top student in the law school. I never thought that now we would become colleagues. The airport hall was very crowded. I was holding a sign to greet my flight. I almost fell asleep. Suddenly, a clear voice woke me up. "Lawyer Evan." A girl wearing a beige trench coat walked quickly with a suitcase in her hand. She looked up and smiled. Revealing 2 front teeth, she said, "I'm Emily. My brother said you'd help me with my luggage, but that's not necessary. I'm a master at lifting weights at the gym." I withdrew my hand, embarrassed. Her suitcase was covered in stickers from airports around the world. The most conspicuous was a badge with a picture of the Aurora Borealis. Lily was always there, waiting for me every day under the law firm building. I avoided her, but she went straight to the law firm. Emily was discussing Alex's guarantee contract with me. Holding the case file, she suddenly pointed at one of the clauses and shouted, "Look here. Alex changed Lily's signature. We can apply for a handwriting analysis." The glass door was suddenly pushed open. Lily rushed in, wearing a crumpled sweater. "Evan, those debt collectors threw my cat down the stairs." She clung to my sleeve. Her fingernails dug deep into my scabs. "You said I didn't have to pay you back." Emily gently pushed a coffee cup in front of me. A sticky note was attached to the cup. It said, "Too much coffee is bad for the heart. I've replaced it with red date tea." I pulled back my sleeve. I gave a cold smile. "I said I didn't have to pay you back for gambling debts. But the guarantee contract you signed yourself is another matter." Lily noticed that Emily had drawn an angry puffer fish on the back of the note. Next to it was written, "Professional advice. Call the police immediately." She suddenly picked up Emily's name tag. She saw that it said intern. "Evan, you'd rather help this newbie than me." Her eyes were red. "Back then, when you and I were eating steamed buns together, this girl was still playing with dolls, right?" Emily jerked her hand away from the deformed name tag. "Miss, if you want to make trouble, you have to choose a place. Evan is busy working right now. This is not consultation time. Shut up." Lily raised her hand and tried to hit me. I grabbed her wrist. Emily stepped forward, rolled up her sleeves and said, "Do you really want to spar with a Taekwondo champion?" Emily and I became familiar with each other. Sometimes after handling difficult cases, we would hang out together. That night before the Aurora Borealis tour left, Emily was fiddling with a single-lens reflex camera in the glass house. The aurora borealis was dancing like green silk in the sky. She turned to me and asked, "Attorney Evan, have you seen the aurora borealis?" I recalled the time Lily stood me up in college. I answered truthfully I made a reservation before. She threw her scarf around my neck. "You've missed out. The aurora borealis in Iceland gets brighter every 5 years. This year it is at its brightest." She didn't finish her sentence. She slipped. I quickly reached out to help her. As a result, we both fell into a thick snowdrift. The snow in her hair sparkled in the aurora. "Hey, my brother used to say you were the most vicious tongue in the debate team. I didn't expect you to be quite so agile." My phone suddenly rang. It was a message from Lily. The last one was a location sharing at 3 a.m. I didn't expect her to come too, and now she was staying at the same aurora observation point as us. I put my phone in my pocket and turned it off. My original sense of vigilance grew even stronger. No one knows what that woman Lily will do if she doesn't pay back the money. Emily whispered, "You can make a wish for the aurora." I folded my hands. I made a serious wish. The moment my eyes closed, the sky suddenly lit up with a purplish-red light. Lily still found us. She stopped us at the observation station. In her hand was a torn wedding photo. She looked at the man's scarf that was showing from Emily's down jacket. That was the scarf I had wrapped around her deliberately because I was worried that she would catch a cold. Lily gave a bitter smile. "You brought her here." Her smile was even more hideous than a cry. "Evan, you even took away my last wish." I immediately retorted, "Miss Lily, I remember this incident from 10 years ago when you stood me up. Now you're being double-standard." Emily suddenly raised the camera and said to Lily, "Look at the lens." 3 seconds later there was a heart-shaped aurora. Lily had not yet reacted. She had already quickly pressed the shutter and said with a smile, "Done. Now you have new memories." Miss Lily has no money to pay off her debts, but she has money to chase after us all the way here to see the aurora. It seems we were too lenient with you regarding the repayment deadline. I sincerely suggest that Evan sue you as soon as he returns to the States. Lily was speechless. She could only quietly leave like a defeated dog. The one who gives everything to love never realizes their own value, but the one who is loved thinks that love is like a spring. It can never be used up. It can never be exhausted. On the bus back, Emily pulled out the photo and showed it to me. In the photo, the beautiful curtain of light behind Lily was exactly in the middle. She wiped the lens while saying, "Actually, there is no heart-shaped aurora, but people always have to find a suitable ending for themselves." The day Alex's appeal failed, Emily was officially promoted. Lao Zhu got drunk at the celebration dinner. His speech was slurred back then. Emily insisted on applying to law school. She said she had watched a video of an upperclassman debating with a group of people, and Emily quickly stuffed a piece of sushi in his mouth. "Salmon can't even block your mouth." At that moment, I suddenly remembered from the debate video. There was always a girl sitting with her knees drawn up behind the camera. She had been doodling in a notebook before. She was actually drawing my profile. Lily came to see me for the last time. She brought a glass jar full of 1,000 paper cranes. I folded them while she was in the hospital. There was a love poem on the wings of each crane. Now the rain has made the writing unreadable. I've learned to fold new ones. Her fingers are full of confetti. "Look, they'll fly further this time." I threw the jar into the paper shredder. "No need. I don't like folding origami cranes anymore. I'm like Emily. I like the military." Emily taught me how to fold a J-20 paper airplane. Emily is in the next meeting room, answering client inquiries. The sound of the paper shredder comes from the next room. She says through the wall, "If you find that your interests are being harmed, you must let go decisively. Don't care too much about the cost you have already paid." Lily suddenly burst out laughing. 10 years of relationship. I have become a victim that can be abandoned at will. That was probably the last time I saw Lily. I walked into the meeting room. I saw the necklace on Emily's chest swaying with her movements. It was a matching couple's necklace. She had bought it with her first month's salary. The invoice was still stuck to her desk on the post-it wall. The aurora borealis danced in the night sky. This time, I finally had someone to watch it with.